Recording this. I will start sharing my screen and doing the presentation in a second. I hope you guys are good. I'm gonna go over a couple things. What's up, Caesar? Volume a bit. My bad. Is this better? Can you hear me? Sweet. All right, so praying for progress today. All right, so before I get into it, what's going to happen today? A few things are going to happen today. I'm going to answer a lot of questions. I'm going to do product research. One of my guys, Pamela is the one of the trainers at my company, and she would do some product research. So I'm going to start by breaking down. We're going to start. My apologies. Let me start. Let me stop talking. You guys, I know we started 16 minutes late. I apologize. So let me just start. So what we'll do a session. I would stop, take question and answers, do another session, stop, take question and answers, do a third session, stop, take question and answers. And the last session today is going to be done by Pamela, my trainee. So I'm going to go through a number of basics. I'm going to break down Amazon dropshipping, Amazon algorithm, suspensions, what options you have, setting up the account, talk a little bit about international stuff, and then Pamela is going to put in an hour. So today we're going to go through 4 hours, and this is why it's a boot camp. We're going to go through 4 hours today and 4 hours tomorrow. It might be a little shorter, it might be a little longer, but I have the topics I want to go over today. The first half of today is going to be a lot of theory, and then we go into actual product research, what to do and that type of stuff. And then so there's going to be mostly theory today. I would say 70% theory today, 30% actionable training. And tomorrow we'll go into 70%. We'll go into the done for you in a set through the webinar, through the bootcamp. But tomorrow, everything would be recorded, everything. Tomorrow, we go into 70% actionable training and 30% theory. Because today we're going to go through the basics, setting up the account, doing product research, finding profitable items, what you do in the first month, what you do in the second month, what you do in the third month, then actually find items. Tomorrow, I'm going to go into scaling, finding bigger profit margins, what to do after the third month. And both today and tomorrow would be recorded. Once it's recorded, my guys are going to take the recording, cut it up, put it on Entrepreneur Zone in the course section. So what happens today would be recorded and put in the course section on Entrepreneur Zone. Tomorrow, same thing, recorded, put in the course section on Entrepreneur Zone. Yeah, so if, guys, once I start the presentation, if I take a little while to respond, obviously it's because I'm going through the presentation, all right? So yeah, I'm excited. So let me get into it. And by the way, so let me give you guys some context. A lot of you guys who are in this room, most of you guys who are in this room, yes, Amazon pays every 2 weeks. Most of you guys who are in this room want to learn or currently drop ship. Some of the guys in this room are guys who actually work at DSGenie. Like I see Hammer. Who else do I see? I see, no, that Indra doesn't work for DSGenie. We have another Indra that works for DSGenie. Let me see if I see anyone else. I see Hammer. Is there anyone else from the office in here? And the reason why I bring that up is because what I want to do is these training sessions, minimum capital $500, but ideally you want to have at least 2,000. And we'll get into that in the training. But these training sessions moving forward are going to be a combination of the public and you guys who want to learn how to dropship on Amazon, as well as my guys who work for me. The reason why that is going to be like that is 2 reasons. I could tighten up the training on the guys that run the done for you accounts, and with the guys who run the done for you accounts, my hope is they would interact with you guys that want to learn both in the web, both in the bootcamp and an Entrepreneur Zone. And you could not only learn from me, but learn from my guys. But anyway, I'm talking enough, so let me get into it. So let me share my screen. All right, guys, do you see my screen? What do you, where is it? Okay. Okay, sweet. So this is Amazon, a 2-day Amazon dropshipping bootcamp. Let me just confirm. I want to make sure this is being recorded because I don't want to make, I can't afford to make any mistakes with that. Right, yeah, it's being recorded. All right, guys, so let's get into it. So welcome to the first bootcamp on Entrepreneur Zone. Yeah, it's recording. This is the first, so be a little patient with me. This is the first bootcamp on Entrepreneur Zone of many, right? Today, we're going to go through the Amazon Dropshipping Bootcamp, which lasts 2 days. And on Entrepreneur Zone, we plan to host Amazon Dropshipping Bootcamp, maybe once or twice a month, eBay Dropshipping Bootcamp, YouTube Bootcamp, Instagram growth hacking bootcamp, and Shopify bootcamps. Now, the purpose of doing these bootcamps are a couple things. On the Entrepreneur Zone platform, we have a number of formal training packages or a number of courses on the platform that we plan to go through. But the bootcamp model works a lot better for what we call business blueprints, or businesses that we can give you most or all of the pieces that you just follow our lead and start. So there's going to be a combination of formal courses and bootcamps, and there's no extra cost for the bootcamp or the courses. All the courses and all the bootcamps would be at the same cost of $997 through Entrepreneurs. So the reason why we do bootcamps are a couple of things. Three main reasons. One, there are a number of business models. There are a number of business models that you could learn everything in a day or two. And we are not going to hype or oversell what you're going to get. And there's a big value in giving you guys a lot of information in a short space of time and doing follow-up calls. So for instance, we do a bootcamp today and tomorrow on Amazon dropshipping. Next Thursday, we would have a 1-hour live call where we do questions and answers with myself and my employees to answer any of the questions that you guys have. The second reason we're doing live bootcamps is so that we can answer all questions you have. A lot of courses that sold online, free all the way up to like $10,000 courses, but most courses might be like, "What's up, Markel? I'm happy that you're here." Most courses online cost a few $100, and you have to depend on the follow-up of the course creator to respond. So when we do live bootcamps, a couple of things are going to happen. You're allowed to ask questions during the presentation or after, and I get to learn quickly the information you need, the type of questions you want, and I can make this better. This is not the only Amazon dropshipping bootcamp. We might do Amazon, the actual bootcamp, once or twice a month, but every 2 weeks, at least every 2 weeks, we'll do a question and answer call to follow up on what you guys learn on bootcamp. And third, the reason why we're doing bootcamps is because Darius and I, so those of you who don't know who Darius is, he's a co-founder of Entrepreneur Zone. He came up with a brand. He did a lot of the courses, and we kind of merged some ideas that we had to build Entrepreneur Zone. But one of our main goals with Entrepreneur Zone is to change entrepreneurship education online. And this bootcamp model is a big part of it. And we would not, the goal is not to ever sell you $1,000 courses, $500 courses. You're not joining Entrepreneur Zone to be upsold, to go through an upsell or go through a funnel. We want to change the game online. We would show you, like, this is apart from this slide, but last year I made about $450,000 in 3 months selling a high ticket training, right? Exactly, almost exactly what you guys are learning today. Selling the Amazon Inner Circle. We are not going to do that on Entrepreneur Zone. We're not going to monetize education. Like, we're not going to monetize any of the courses with high ticket prices, but we do plan to show you what myself and Darius and other experienced educators have done in the past that has made money with high ticket education packages. Because I'm not saying that there's not a place for it. I'm not saying that you cannot make a lot of money with selling expensive courses. That's just not what Entrepreneur Zone as a company is going about, right? So the 3 reasons: you can learn everything that you need to know in Amazon dropshipping in 2 days, more or less, question and answers, and Entrepreneur Zone as a company plans to change entrepreneurship education online. So the goal of this bootcamp, this Amazon dropshipping bootcamp, there are 3 goals. To teach you everything we know, not just myself, but all my employees. to answer all the questions that you could potentially have while we do this live presentation between today and tomorrow. So that's the second one. And third, to motivate you to take action. And let me be completely clear. My goal is not to be a motivational speaker. I myself I graduated undergrad in 2005. I had one job for 3 months as a Target assistant store manager, and then a job at a financial institution building investment products. I have a degree in mathematics. I wrote a couple of books about finance. But I had a second job at a financial institution at home. And because I've not had a job for a long time, I generally, like I tell my employees this all the time, I am still learning how to motivate people to work. I have personally never needed that motivation to just wake the fuck up and get the work done. But the third goal of this webinar is not just to give you the information and teach you exactly what I know and what my team knows, but to hopefully motivate you to get the fuck up and just do the work. Because you're not gonna, I could sell you a course for $10 fucking, give you it for free, or $5,000, but you're not going to make any money if you don't get the fuck up and do a couple hours or 10, anywhere from 2 to 18 hours a day in work. And we'll get into the details during the webinar. So who am I? And the reason why I'm covering this is because some of you guys know me. Some of you guys came from the YouTube channel, came from my Instagram. Some of you guys are friends. Some of you guys are employees, but some of you guys would have come from Darius's audience. Darius is the co-founder of Entrepreneurs Zone. So I'm going to go through for a second who I am, but not because I want you to know who I am or like me or whatever the fuck. Like, the purpose of going through who I am or the parts of who Mark Augustine is so you'll understand how I learned what I learned, and you could be, and you could be assured that the information that I'm teaching you is not from a secret or from some magical dude who could make millions of dollars, or not from some secret mentor that wants $25,000 for his inner circle. The reason for me introducing myself to a lot of you guys who don't know me, or some of you guys who don't know me as well, is so you can understand where I pull a lot of the information that I teach you guys from, right? Yeah, we'll upload the entire thing. Because a lot of this, not just the Amazon training is important, but the context of the training and the opportunities available are. So before I continue, I want to say one thing, right? I want to say something that I didn't answer in the presentation. So today I'm going to go through Amazon dropshipping. We plan to do eBay dropshipping, Instagram, Shopify, YouTube. The purpose of us giving you guys a lot of courses and giving you guys a lot of boot camps is not to have you doing a lot of things at one time. And that is the one fear that I have. The purpose of us giving you a lot of content, a lot of training, is so that you could understand your position, your financial position, the country you live in, what you like to do, what you don't like to do, and make decisions what business is best for you, and focus on that business until it's automated to a certain extent, and then you could go on to another business. So before I get into who I am, and again, I know I'm talking, but a lot of this information is important. Actually, no. I will get it. I know what I'll get into. So let me introduce who I am. So my name is Mark Augustine. This is 10-year-old Mark here, that fat dude with the glasses. I'm from Trinidad and Tobago. I grew up there. I left there when I was 18 to move to the United States, where I studied a degree in mathematics. This is a little less fat version of Mark when I was graduating. And these two guys are also from Trinidad and Tobago. And then once I graduated, I did grad school, which is not relevant right now. And then I did a lot of in-person events, Grind Camp and Dropship House. Grind Camp was an event where I invited a lot of online entrepreneurs to live together for a month, and I paid for everything. They came for free. They had to pay for their flight. They eat for free. They stayed in a villa for free. And the beach in the background of that picture with me and Darius is where one of the Grind Camps were. But we shared information. So Mark went from Caribbean dude, Caribbean fat nerd, to a little less fat, less nerdy Caribbean dude living in the US, and then having these in-person events. The reason why I explain that, and the reason why that is important, is because me coming from both a foreign country and a third world country, then moving to the US, getting a social security number, banking, residency, studying there, running businesses there, then leaving the US and meeting a lot of online entrepreneurs from all over the world in person, where we share information, gives me a perspective that covers a number of things. It allowed me to learn how foreigners can make money in the US. It allowed me to make money in the US as an American or someone who was born and grew up in the United States. And then by me leaving, meeting other online entrepreneurs and opening an office in Nicaragua, it also allowed me to understand the other business options there are online. And it allowed me to get a deeper understanding of what we call in our business like virtual assistants, which are just other people trying to make money in a country that makes less money, and understand what it takes to train those guys effectively to have results. So the reason I'm introducing myself is not to just hear myself fucking talk, because I'm just trying to make you know, and I'm trying to connect the dots of where this information is coming from, because a lot of internet educators make themselves, have a grandiose expression of themselves and make themselves like this big person, and then you respect them and you listen to them and you take their information without using logic. And I do not want that from you guys. I'm going to teach you everything I know. I'm going to teach you everything my employees know. I'm going to teach you I'm 37 years old. I'm going to teach you from all the experience I have. And if you think that something is wrong or doesn't make sense or lacks logic, I encourage you guys to challenge me and challenge my employees on information that you're learning, so that we can have a baseline about what is right, what is wrong, and what you should be doing on a daily basis to make money. And that is something that is very different in this online entrepreneurship, make money online course space, because you create what we are called gurus, what we call today gurus, and people like, they have money, I don't have money, so maybe I should not be challenging what they are teaching. And that is one of the biggest problems in this space. Most of my family comes from education. When I was studying mathematics, 1 + 1 = 2 in every place on earth, I could test that and be assured that the information I have is correct. In business, in entrepreneurship, and in business education, a lot of it is dependent on the correct information, and a lot of it is also dependent on how good you are to execute. So if you get bad information and you're a good executor and you fail, the problem is not necessarily you, but the problem is the information. So it is very important that not just I give you this information logically, but if you see something that you do not understand, or you think I'm lying, or you think I'm full of shit, or you think I'm making it bigger than it is important that all of you guys feel like you have the right to challenge me. Because that's the only way, that is the biggest place that we learn. When I studied in university, you learn from a professor, and if you think it is wrong, you challenge him and he justifies it. I want that same environment in the boot camps and on the Entrepreneur Zone platform. So I I've been drop shipping for 9 years. I have sold on eBay. This is an eBay screenshot that I posted on my Instagram maybe like a year ago. The biggest month I ever had on eBay was close to $400,000. But this is not what this training is about. I've also sold on Amazon for about 4 years. We manage accounts at my office. I've personally grown an account from 0 to selling over $300,000 a month on Amazon. I have helped my guys in the office. Some might be selling 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 grand a month. We've had accounts in the office get up to close to $300,000 a month. And the purpose of me explaining that to you as well is that it's all experience. This is not a trick. This is years of experience and hundreds of thousands of dollars paid in mistakes, in courses, in traveling, in meeting people, in order to have the information I have and then give it to you guys. Even if you see a screenshot that you're like, Mark, I think you edited that screenshot. That doesn't look right. Tell me that, because I need you guys to know as sure as possible, 100% or 99%, that the information that you are getting is correct so that you can execute without a doubt. A lot of times people will get information, not be sure if it is right, and they wouldn't take action and be urgent because a little part of their minds is thinking that they're wasting time because the information can be bullshit. Now on Amazon, the profit margins are minimum 10%. And and my guys in the office had the ability to get as high as 80% profit margins. And all of that stuff would be covered in the webinar. I would show you when you can get big profit margins, when you can't, how to look for big profit margins, and all that stuff. Yeah, Markel, I just say that because I don't know everyone on the webinar, in the bootcamp, right? So Jamal, I think you edited the screenshot. So that screenshot, 550 grand, that was done about a year or two ago, right? eBay, like I have guys in the office who manage their own accounts. We only manage a couple of eBay accounts. And you could still sell $100,000, $200,000 on eBay, but it's a lot more work than it was like 2 years ago. So the purpose of me showing you that screenshot is not to say that I'm still selling $250,000 or $275,000 a month on eBay, because that's an eBay screenshot. It's just that me having 9 years dropshipping experience on eBay and 5 years dropshipping experience on Amazon gives me context and gives me understanding about what it takes to get this stuff. So who are you going to learn from? You're going to learn from me and my team. And why is this important? So I have dropshipped for 9 years. I've done Amazon on eBay. I've done Amazon dropshipping for 5 years. And I have a team. Some of these guys, hold on. Most of these guys are still with me. A couple of them have been fired. And the process, guys, give me 1 second. I really apologize. I drank a lot of coffee. I need to take 2 minutes to run to the bathroom. Give me 1 second. Yes. It's today and tomorrow. Right. So, so the reason of me saying that you're going to learn from me and my team is is because of a few things. Not all, like this girl here is my office manager. A lot of these guys are account managers. But the purpose of me explaining that is like what I've learned from drop shipping on Amazon and from building a team are a few things. So to get my top guys, we might have had to go through 4 people to get one. So if I have 50 employees, I would have had to interview maybe 500, hire 200, fire 150 and stay with 50. What that whole process has allowed me to do is, like, when I first started dropship, I was desperate, I was broke, I was willing to do whatever it takes to make money. What hiring people, training people, looking at results, comparing the results has done is understand there are certain parts of dropshipping that people like and don't like. It's to understand that there are some people that can sacrifice, do shit that they don't like, scale. But there are also ways to understand the skills and goals of someone, put them in position to mainly do that, and then put someone else in position to do something else. What I mean by that is, when I first started dropship, I was desperate to make money. I did everything. I listed, customer service, order fulfillment. I worked 18 hours a day, and that allowed me to go from 0 to making $10,000 on eBay in 6 months. I've interviewed, looked at resumes, hired and fired, guys that work in call centers, guys from the US, guys from Nicaragua, guys who are engineers, guys who've done a lot of things. I personally do not like to do customer service. I fucking hate it. It gives my stomach a pain. But I'm explaining all of that because I am going to give you guys, and some of the guys in this picture are going to help you guys learn everything. Some of the things are going to be easier than others. Some of the things are going to be difficult. In the beginning, if you do not have the money to hire someone, you would have, like for instance, I thoroughly hate customer service. But when I started, I could not afford to hire someone. So I did everything myself. Then I decided to partner with someone else, split the profit 50-50. I did product research, that person did customer service and fulfillment. And I went from making like $3,000 or $4,000 a month by myself to building an account that was selling and profiting $20,000 a month, and I'm getting $10,000 because I was allowed to focus on what I'm good at. So everyone can do all of this. You have to be self-aware to understand where you are good and where you are bad so that you could fill in the spaces and it would scale. So you're going to learn from myself and you're going to learn from Pamela. Pamela is a trainee at my company. I don't know if I can see it. Pamela's here. Andrea is the Amazon manager, so she will help you with. So I would do a lot of basic and advanced stuff. Customer service, getting unsuspended. Pamela will do, not customer service, sorry. I would do product research, get unsuspended, and some customer service. Pamela mainly does product research, and Andrea would mainly go through the customer service stuff. And I know you guys are like, this dude is talking too much, get on with the bootcamp. But all of this is important so that you connect all the dots and you see the value in everything that you're learning. So how did I learn? I am a hard-headed idiot in the sense that I don't, generally speaking, don't trust most of the courses on the internet, for good and bad. There are courses that are valuable online. There are courses that are built by really good marketers that just simply want to sell you an expensive course to make money. Amazon dropshipping took me about a couple months, I would say about 3 months of doing courses. Like, I've met Amazon dropshippers, I've done a lot of courses, but I had to do all the work and make money and lose money and make mistakes and spend 2 to 18 hours a day dropshipping to learn what I learned. I also had a lot of patience because a lot of guys would start dropshipping, think that it's easy, and then have a hiccup, get suspended or lose money on a couple of sales, or not be able to fulfill, or your metrics go bad, and you're like, fuck it, it's too hard, keep going. With Amazon in particular, the potential is too great, in my opinion, to have given up. And since then, I've been able to sell $25,000 in an account in one day and make like that day, that account made close to $6,000 profit in that day, right? So you need to prepare yourself for work, whether that is working a lot all day or understand how to train someone to work. You need to have a little bit of patience to make some mistakes. And you need to understand that everything I'm giving you is not some shit that I pull out my ass or stuff that I thought about. It is from experience. And that experience has cost me 9 years and hundreds of thousands of dollars of courses, mistakes, traveling, and meeting people. And you are getting that information here. I'm not hiding anything from you. I'm not pretending to be a guru. This is not a secret in the sense that there's not some tweak that some genie or some magical person figured out. I have gone through a lot of hard work, sacrifice, losing money and making a ton of money to get to this point. And I've given you guys this information 100% based on experience and not based on me telling you I'm some sort of fucking genius that figured some shit out and now I can make millions of dollars. Yes, I make a ton of money. Yes, you can make a lot of money, but the context of the information is important. And what is expected of you is important as well. So, all right. So before I get into how to set up an Amazon account and then get into Amazon algorithm and how to list and all that stuff, let's take a pause and you guys ask me any questions for 10 minutes or maybe less than 10 minutes. But you guys could go in the chat or go in the question section and ask me anything right now. Two minutes if you want, but ask me whatever you want. How much money do you need to start? So Amazon pays every 2 weeks. Ideally, you should start with $2,000 to $5,000, but you could start with as little as $500, assuming that for 3 months, you're not going to withdraw any money. Okay. So will there be a course on how to train VAs? So let me explain, 1 second. What is going to happen? So in this training, in this bootcamp, in the continuous live training on Entrepreneur Zone, I would have both you guys in the training as well as my guys from my office in the training and the trainers from my office. So exactly what we taught our guys, you guys are going to learn, and you guys can use the same training that we use to teach our guys to teach any of you guys employees as well, right? So that's the answer. Will there be a course on how to train VAs? So yes, but it wouldn't be packaged like this is a VA course. It is packaged. This is what we use to train employees. This is the mistakes that they make. This is exactly what they need to do. This is how to manage them. This is how to stop them from making problems and so on. Do we need wholesale agreements to show to Amazon? I am going to show you how to do all of this stuff without wholesale agreements, but it is possible to get wholesale agreements. Let me explain why I am giving you the two different versions of this. If you don't have wholesale, all the items that we sell without wholesale agreements come from either rebranding our own items or using retailers or distributors that allow resellers that do not sell on the Amazon platform. So for example, Webstaurant, you can drop ship from them. You're allowed to sell their brands and they don't sell on Amazon. Or some of them actually sell on Amazon for a higher price and you can still beat the price and make a profit margin. So that's one. Two, You could create your own branded product, whether you're drop shipping from China, from Websteron, from other retailers, and I'm going to show you that. But the challenge with wholesale agreements are two things. A lot of wholesalers do sell on Amazon, that's one. Post coronavirus, post COVID-19, a lot of wholesalers are going to start selling on Amazon, that is two. So the competition is a little harder some of the time. So I am explaining the value of wholesale agreements, how you can dropship on Amazon without wholesale agreements, as well as some of the few wholesalers that still make sense. And it would be 100% clear what fits 100% within Amazon terms of service and what doesn't. How likely is someone to get suspended when making an account right off the bat? It is actually pretty likely, but it's very easy to get over. And when I'm going over the setting up the account, Hakeem, jump in and ask me that question. I am from India. Can I start a business on Amazon US? Yes, you can. I have an employee called Indra that he actually paid for the inner circle when I did it last year for $1,500. He was using someone else's Indian Amazon account to sell on Amazon.com, and now he works with us. I have a student that from a year ago, no, 3 students from India that still dropship on Amazon.com from their Amazon India account. And I have a done for you account that came from someone from India who has an Indian Amazon account but sells in the US marketplace. So a lot of countries are allowed to sell on Amazon.com. You can sell from wherever your country is, and you're allowed to sell on the Amazon.us marketplace. Can I create a general store and have loads of different products and their different suppliers? Yes, you can. The game with Amazon and Amazon dropshipping is not about a niche store. It's about selling what sells. So we do research on finding what actually sells, sell it for a little bit less. And there are 4 different things that affect the Amazon algorithm that I'll go through in the presentation today. But it's not a niche store. How high should I raise a product from the buy box price? I would get into that in the training. Which is better, Amazon or eBay? Amazon and eBay are 2 different platforms. eBay has more competition and less traffic. Amazon has less competition and more traffic. eBay, you could start with less money. We'll do a bootcamp on that about 2 weeks from now. Amazon, you need a little bit more money, but the upside on Amazon is a lot higher and the level that you can scale is a lot bigger, and eBay not. So you just have to be aware of your personal position and then make a decision what is better for you. What time is it? What time is it? Well, I'm seeing the time. Sorry. I'm just making sure. Right, so 4 more minutes of questions. What can I pull off with $500 startup? $500, you could sell about $1,500 a month on Amazon with as much as a 30% margins. You can make about $500 a month, but I don't suggest that if you start with $500 that you take money out, because the goal is to sell at least $2,000 a month for 3 months and then scale. So you can get close to that, you can make some money, but if you keep taking out money, it's not going to work for you. Do you have a minimum price for a product you sell? Yes, I'm going to show you how to price, I'm going to show you how to compete, and show you how to make money. How many done-for-you accounts can I get? You can get as many done-for-you accounts as Amazon allows you to start up, but if you want, I could take a question and answer later on about done-for-you. Having a lot of feedback is needed to scale. No, having a lot of feedback is not needed to scale. Having good metrics and selling at least $2,000 a month for 3 months in a row is what you need to scale. I opened my account and it got suspended. They asked me to upload bills. I did upload my attribute. They refused. It asked me for more information. Mo, if you're coming from a country that's not the US and you're using items that are not in English, you're going to have some of those additional problems. You want to upload as much information as quickly as possible and as clear as possible for Amazon. No taking pictures of the bills. You want to upload PDFs or scan documents or full documents on your computer. Let me just take a couple more questions because we have 2 more minutes. I know about Amazon sign-up process. Please mention how persons outside of the country can start. So let me, Miss St. Vincent, let me address that really quickly because I know a lot of you guys are not from the US. Some of you guys may be from countries that don't allow you to sell in the US. And in the boot camp, I'm going to give away exactly what you need. And I was skeptical about giving it away because it's expensive to set up. But I'll give you exactly what you need and you can set up for a couple $100 and you'll see. So you need a bank account. I'll show you guys how to set up a US corporation. I'll show you guys the one bank that I've found after 15 years would give you an account without US ID and a social security number. You just need a corporation and a tax ID number. And that's what you need to drop ship on Amazon. And you can use that to do a lot of business in the US. So we'll go through that process. I don't drop ship on the UK for a number of reasons. I've never lived in the UK. I don't understand the UK as much. And the US has way more traffic than the UK. And guys in the UK also have the opportunity to sell in the US. And there's a lot more money to be made in the US and a lot less competition. So that's why. I'm going to do an exact section about international dropshipping from Amazon tomorrow, going into detail, a whole section just on that. So you'll get that. So yeah, so guys, it's 11. If I start with $1,000 and I get 100 orders a day, how do I handle that? So Amazon is like a tap. You can keep turning it on, but at some point it's going to start flowing. If you're starting with a limited amount of money, you want to be aware of how many sales are coming in, and then you want to put your account on vacation mode to stop getting sales. And we at the office have to deal with that because we have clients that have $200,000 in credit. I'm not going to call their name. And we have clients that have $2,000 in credit. So we have to properly manage the sales on their accounts to make sure it doesn't blow up. Yeah, we'll talk about all the details. I hear private label is the best to start with 1,000. Private label what? Private label, FBA, buying stuff. That's not true. And we could go into all those questions, but let me get back into the presentation. All right. Any questions that I didn't ask, when we start the next session of questions, feel free to ask, please. All right. So some of you guys would have had an account set up already. If you have, I apologize. You can do vacation mode or put everything out of stock, right? That's the 2 options. So, all right. So how to set up your Amazon account? The reason why I'm doing this is because I know some of you guys already dropship, have a selling account, or just buy on Amazon. And I had a call yesterday with a done-for-you potential client, and he was saying, yeah, I'll explain. And he was saying, I have an Amazon Prime account so we could set it up. Now, because you buy on Amazon, it does not mean that you have the account to sell on Amazon. That's 1. 2, there are 2 different versions of the accounts, a free account and a paid account. The free account charges you per listing. The free account also restricts the number. So let me say something. I am seeing questions in the chat and questions in the question section. So I will try to repeat the question before I answer it so you guys would know the question that I'm answering. So I apologize for that, Brenda. Right, exactly. So I'll try to repeat the question as well as answer it. So I apologize. What kind of questions? So what kind of products can be sold? I will get to that later on in the presentation. What about Amazon UK? I have tried to drop ship on Amazon UK for a very short time. People in the UK can sell on Amazon.com, Amazon US. There's much more money to be made on Amazon US. So I suggest that you guys in the UK drop ship on Amazon US. There's also a lot more information on Amazon US. Anyway, so I'm going to stop answering questions for a while and get into the presentation. So setting up the Amazon account, you could have a buying account, you could have a free seller account and a paid selling account. If you plan to drop ship on Amazon and make any sort of money full-time or part-time, pay the $39.99, which is on this. So you go to sell.amazon.com, you're going to see this page and you click sign up and pay the $39.99. The reason why having an LLC is not mandatory, and that's going to be covered in this part of the section, this part of the presentation. I'm from the UK, so when I set up an account, would I have to set? We'll get into all of that, guys. Please hold your questions back for a while. So you want to go to sell.com, sell.amazon.com. You want to sign up for a pro selling account, which is $39.99 per month. That gives you, when you pass Amazon review, the ability to sell as much as you want for $39.99. It allows you to sell in as many categories as Amazon allows you to sell in. Because when you have the free account, they don't allow you to sell in a lot of categories. So if you actually plan to make money, I understand that some of you guys may want to start a business with $0. Amazon, that's not the case. You could start with a little bit of money, but anyone trying to drop ship on Amazon needs to pay the $39.99. So you go to sell.com, sign up for that. Now, a couple of things. If you have a buying account or a prime account, that does not mean you have a selling account. That's one. Two, if you use a prime account as the account they use to supply your eBay drop shipping orders. The only reason I'm bringing this up is because I know some of you guys also drop ship on eBay and use Amazon as a supplier. If you use the same account that you use to fulfill your orders for eBay drop shipping as your Amazon selling account, you need to be careful. You need to be careful because some of the fulfillment people use discounted Amazon gift cards to fulfill and get their buying account shut down. Sometimes people break the terms of service and break Prime's terms of service and could potentially be shut down. And that will roll over to your selling account and they would suspend you. So if you have a regular Prime account and you just use that to buy and so on, you don't have to worry about this. But if you're using your Prime account to fulfill orders for another dropshipping business on another platform, my suggestion would be that you use a different email and a different account for the buying account. You don't have to separate the address, separate the name, separate the entity because the buying and selling account, but you do not want to use the same account, the same email that you're using to fulfill for another dropshipping business to create a selling account on Amazon. So if you have not set up an account yet, what I would suggest is that today you go to sell.amazon.com, you follow what I'm going to go through in the couple sections after and set up the account properly and start selling. So $39.99, a pro seller account at sell.amazon.com. So this is the second page. Once you start to set up, the answers are in Spanish because I'm physically in Nicaragua. But once you start to set up, they're going to ask you for the location of the company. They're going to ask you for the type of company, and this says private company, and I'll get into that. And they're going to ask you for the name of the company. Now, there are, let me check I'm not going to check the exact number, but I'll put the link and a document on Entrepreneurs on the course section. There are something like 60 countries that are allowed to sell on Amazon.com. places like Brazil, Costa Rica, Trinidad and Tobago, just off the top of my head, the UK, most of Europe, South Africa. You can, without a US corporation, choose the location of the company outside of the US and still be allowed to sell in the US on Amazon.com without any problems with taxes or fulfillment. So if you happen to be from a country that is currently allowed to sell on Amazon.com, you want to choose that country. If you are based in the US, you want to choose the US. If you are based in a country that is not allowed to sell on Amazon.com, you want to go through the process of starting a US LLC or corporation or partner with someone from the US. But let's say you don't have someone that lives in the US and is from the US and your country is not allowed to sell on Amazon.com. What you would need is one, to set up an LLC or a corporation, which we will go through in detail tomorrow. I will give you a step-by-step how to set up a corporation in Florida if you are not from the US, is one. So you need to set up a corporation. You would choose based in the US, and you would get a bank account that does not require a social security number from Mercury Bank. And again, I will go through that tomorrow. But there are options for you to set up a corporation, get US banking, and be able to sell on Amazon, whether you are in the US, outside the US, in a country that allows to sell on Amazon, or in a country that is not allowed to sell on Amazon. So I'll have to set up a limited liability company in the UK to start selling on Amazon. No, that is wrong. No. If you are from the UK, or if you are from a country that allows you to sell on Amazon.com, and I apologize for not having the list of countries in the presentation. I could pull it up right now. Let me do that just so I can share that with you. But if I'm going to pull up the actual Amazon page so I can share that with you guys, so you don't have any doubts. But to answer your question and to not have any misunderstanding, if you're from the UK, let me shrink this and bring this in 1 second. Why is this taking so long to load? But you do not, if you're in a country that is allowed to sell on Amazon.com, you do not need a corporation per se. You do not need a limited company in the UK. You don't need a corporation in your country. You can, but you can set up a regular personal selling account if you are from one of the countries that are accepted to sell on Amazon and sell from that account without having a corporation. So this is a list of countries that, and I'll get into all the verification, guys, but this is a list of countries that Amazon allows you to sell from. A lot of you guys on this call is from the US and the UK and stuff. Let me just post a link directly to that page so that you guys have access to that. So I'm going to post it to everyone in the chat. So all of these countries, Albania, Algeria, I'm not going to make a fool of myself. All of these countries, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 20, like 30 by 3, maybe around 90 countries are allowed to sell on Amazon. So you can make a limited liability company in UK, or you don't have to. Right. Because if you're making a corporation, a limited liability company in UK or a personal account in UK, then it doesn't matter how much minutes that it started. We started an hour ago and it's been recorded. So you guys will have access to this after. So yeah, so if you are from one of these countries, like luckily Trinidad and Tobago is here, and that's in Spanish. Spain is here, Colombia, Costa Rica. So check out that link. But if you're allowed to register for Amazon.com, you do not have to create a corporation. I don't know if Egypt is on there. You can check. I'm really not sure. I apologize for not checking. So when you set up the account, choose your actual location, whether in the US, whether you set up a corporation in the US, or whether you're from one of the countries that is allowed to sell on Amazon. Choose a location, choose a company type. Most of us are going to be either private companies, meaning an LLC, Inc., Corp, LTD in the UK. Most of us are either a private company or an individual, because you can set up and sell and pay taxes if you are a corporation or an individual. If you're banned, there are ways around it, and I will get into that. When choosing the company name, if you are a corporation, put the actual company name. If you are an individual, you can almost make the name up. You could use your personal name, and this is not, because in the US you could be a sole proprietor. So you're allowed to do business as an individual. So you could make, you're not going to add Inc., you're not going to add Corp, you're not going to add LTD. You could put DSG Variety, Mo's Store, all that stuff. You could make a DBA, a doing business as, exactly, Brandon, and you don't have to formally file the DBA to use it on Amazon, because for sole proprietors, they do not verify that information. If you want to, it is available. An LLP, yes, it could use to be sold as well. All we are looking at is corporate entities, private companies, public companies, LLCs, LLPs, S Corps, C Corps, all that stuff, or individuals. So this is a basic, this is very straightforward. So, but a lot of you guys may be worried about the country you choose and the type. So now you have that information. So this is just when you say, so give me, I need to drink some water. So I've been talking for like an hour straight. Give me like 1 minute. Actually, let me finish the setting up the account section and then take some questions. So a couple things. I mentioned this before. You do not, thanks damn Jan. You do not need an LLC, a C Corp, a S Corp, a LTD. You do not need a corporate entity if you are from a country that is allowed to register and sell on Amazon. If you are, you can use a corporation, you can use an LLC, you can use an LLP, limited liability partnership. You can be a public company, but it is not necessary. One, you do need a pro account. Do not be cheap and get the free account. Get a pro $39.99 account. When filling out, like I didn't have the screenshots of this process because there was I was doing it yesterday with a new Amazon account and there was a ton of personal information, but I would have Marco at my office do a separate video to put on the Entrepreneur Zone platform, going the 1, 2, 3, all the 7 pages of filling out information if you need it, but the sign up process is basic and I'm giving you this here. one of the questions that they ask you when setting up the account is, do you have UPCs for all your items, some of your items, or none of your items? Whether you know what UPCs are or not, the answer to that question is either all or some. I don't need to go into, so guys, I need to stop because I'm getting a call from my wife and my son was sick today and I don't want it to cut my head off. So give me 1 second. Okay, I think, let me make sure I'm back. You guys, fuck, no. You guys can hear me again, right? Right, so my son had a little fever yesterday, and with the coronavirus going on, my wife freaked out, and his fever is gone this morning. So, yeah. So let me get back into it. So I just had to answer the call and apologize. So a couple of things. Some of the guys are asking, some of the guys are commenting, do I need a corporation for a business license and tax exempt? Do I need a corporation for a business license? Those are some of the questions. Do I need a corporation for EIN? Do I need a corporation for hire? If you're based in the US, you can be a sole proprietor. You can get tax exempt. You can get a business license. You can get a tax ID, all in 1 or 2 days without a corporation. So if you're based in the US, you can get tax exempt without a corporation. And Gabriel, we'll get all of those questions, UPCs and all that stuff, we'll get into that. If you are outside of the US, you can sell, and you are from a country that is allowed to sell on Amazon.com. You can sell on the platform, and there are a number of suppliers that you do not need to get tax exempt, or you do not need a business license to drop ship from these suppliers on the platform. Hobby Lobby and Webstaurant are two of them. I talked about Webstaurant on the YouTube channel. Hobby Lobby, HOBBY, is the other supplier. No one would tell you this in public. This is one supplier that a beginner or experienced person can use and get 10 to 50% margins and not be tax exempt, not need tax exempt, not need a business license. And still, I'll write it in the chat, Hobby Lobby. And that will also be on a document that is in Entrepreneurs Zone, Hobby Lobby. Understand, if you want to start drop shipping and you don't want to wait to get a corporation and get tax exempt and get certain suppliers, don't worry about getting tax exempt with Webstaurant, and that's a whole other story, and we could go into that. But My suggestion to you guys, is to start, if you want to start immediately, but still start the process of creating the corporation, getting the tax ID, and getting tax exempt. Right? If you're in the US, you don't need a corporation. If you're in the countries that allow you to sell on Amazon.com, you can sell, you can use suppliers that Hobby Lobby and Webstaurant, Sportsman's Guide, and private label drop shipping, and not need tax exempt and can sell. But if you are outside of the US, if you're outside of the US and you can sell, still get the LLC and move towards getting tax exempt to increase your margins. If you are outside the US and you cannot sell on Amazon.com, like Miss St. Kitts from earlier with a question, I apologize, I didn't call you by your real name. I'm not trying to disrespect you. This is how I am, right? If you are from a country that is not allowed to sell on Amazon.com, you want to set up, you don't have a choice but to set up an LLC, get US banking, sell on Amazon, get taxes. So those of you who are in the US, you don't need an LLC to sell, get tax exempt, all that stuff. Those of you, yeah. Those of you who are out of the US and can sell, you can sell, but you can't get tax exempt. So you can start with Hobby Lobby, Webstaurant, get your corporation and get tax exempt and raise those margins. Those who are outside of the US and cannot sell on Amazon.com, you need to set up a corporation to sell, period. So there are three of you guys, right? Let me get back to the presentation. So you need a pro account. When Amazon asks you if you have all or some of the UPCs, you can say all or some. You don't want to say none. When Amazon, there's another question that Amazon would ask you about brands and trademarks. You could say they ask you if you own all, some, or none of the brands that you're going to sell on Amazon. You can choose any one of them, all, some, or none. I haven't seen someone been suspended for answering that question anyway. I personally only say some. I always answer, I own some of the brands or trademarks that I'm selling on Amazon. I always answer, I have UPCs or all or some of the UPCs for my items, and I answer some brands. Now let me explain the UPCs and then let me explain the brands. Because someone asked about where to get UPCs. And I don't use AliExpress as a supplier because fuck, China is taking forever to ship to the US. And we don't know about all any sort of potential restrictions that the government in the US is going to put on China. So I don't even put myself in that position to get in that problem. So someone asked, where do you get UPCs? And we would cover that. But when Amazon asks you if you have UPCs for all or some of your items, the reason why you are saying yes or all, UPCs is it's a number on, if when you buy any item, there's a barcode. The number on the barcode is the UPC, unique. I should have researched it, but Google UPC. It's a unique number per item. It comes with a barcode. Every single unique product code. Thanks, Sophia. Every single item, whether you're listing a unique private item with your own personal UPC that you buy, or whether you list an item where other people are selling it, what we call in drop shipping is piggybacking. If you list an item with other people selling it, that also has a UPC. So all the items that you list on Amazon has a UPC. And the UPC is extremely important. I'm going to show you that further in the presentation, further in Bootcamp. Because you can use that to confirm that you have the right item from the source that you're selling on Amazon. But UPCs are on all items. You own some brands. Setting up, you don't need to register a brand to create a private brand on Amazon, but you can. You can buy UPCs, make up a brand on Amazon, and they're not going to verify it, and it would sell, and it is within Amazon terms of service. You can pay $400 for trademark. All of this is stuff we would cover, but you don't need to. Will I get suspended for using a debit card? If so, can I get unsuspended when I add a credit? So that question comes up to verification. The last thing, when set up an account. When setting up a pro selling account on Amazon, Amazon asks you for a debit or credit card that is connected to the person, the corporation, or one of the persons that's own the business that you're going to pay. That's a card that you pay the $39.99 with. So you want a card that is connected to either the corporation, the person who owns the account, or the person who owns the corporation to pay the $39.99. They're also going to ask you for your ID. If you're in the US, driver's license, identification card, passport. If you're outside of the US, mostly passport. If you're outside of the US in a non-English speaking country, I've seen increased problems with using your passport to verify it. But luckily, with the barcode now, when you put in your passport number, there's a database that connects all of us and they can verify your identity. So whether you're in English or another language, if the passport matches the information you give them, that would be fine. So with the verification, you need to make sure, one, a card connected to the individual or corporation that's going to sell. Two, a proper identification, US ID, passport, so on, foreign passport to verify your personal identity. And three, they're going to ask you for a utility bill, a bank statement, a phone bill that would give them information whether it's a corporate bank account or corporate credit card or corporate utility bill, depending on the entity they choose, or a personal document. They need that document to verify address and so on. Now, that is where, what ways they're around being. Again, I'm going to cover everything. Getting unsuspended, getting not banned, creating a second account. We have a lot of stuff to cover, so be patient. Someone asked, is there a way to get around being banned? So I'm just saying that we are going to cover that. Now, in the verification process, you want to ensure that you use a utility bill or bank statement connected to the owner of the Amazon account. In the verification process, this is where you guys who are from foreign countries that are not English-speaking countries are going to have a pain in the ass. Because I have a client from Hungary, and it took a month or 6 weeks of sending information over and over and over in his language and verified and translated for them to finally approve it. I was almost to the point to tell him, hey, dude, just set up a US corporation and it'll be fast. But if you're from a non-English speaking foreign country, you're going to have additional problems. So let's move on a little bit. So Amazon suspension. So before I get into Amazon suspensions, let me stop and take 3 minutes of questions. So throw the questions out fast. Not suspension questions. Any questions about registration? I see Julian raise his hand. Julian, give me a second. Let me check that out. I'm from Morocco. They didn't ask me for a company. So if you're from Morocco and Morocco is allowed to sell on the platform, you should be fine. Just about to ask about China dropshipping, good or bad idea. Right now, dropshipping direct from China is a bad fucking idea. I did choose no, I don't have a brand. That's a question. If you said you don't have a brand, that's okay. Can I use Pioneer or TransferWise debit card? Sofian, I don't know what country you're from. I've seen a Pioneer card and deposit work for a Brazilian guy. I've seen a Pioneer card and deposit work for my brother from Trinidad, but I also see it not work for one of my friends from Barbados. That's one. I have a client from Hungary who has TransferWise debit card and bank account. It worked for a week and then they suspended it and then they could not verify it. So I've been seeing a lot more success with Pioneer than I have with TransferWise. Yes, I use both. Okay, sweet. So Javier says, so with my LLC in Florida, can I have tax exemption? Yes, you can have tax exemption with the LLC in Florida. Can Amazon verify who the owner of the bank account is? To answer that question, honestly, I don't know. And let me explain why. I have used business bank accounts from Chase and Bank of America, and they could not verify who the owner of the account was. I've used personal bank accounts and they can. I've used business bank accounts from other banks and they can. So in my experience, Bank of America and Chase business bank accounts, they don't seem to be able to verify the owner of the account. All the other accounts, they do seem to be able to verify. Julian, it started at 12 Eastern and is going for 4 hours today. And Julian wants to know how long it's going to be. It's going to be 4 hours today, 4 hours tomorrow. It's all going to be recorded and it's going to be posted on Entrepreneurs. All right. So, right. Question time is done. So let me get back into the suspensions. Let me ask you one more question. Is it safe to buy established stealth accounts to use with VDS? I don't suggest buying a stealth account or a ghost account at all. Can it work? Yeah. Are there ways to get multiple accounts or extra accounts without going stealth? Yes. And the reason why I say that is because most Amazon stealth or ghost accounts are created with stolen identities of people outside of the US with passports from places that are allowed to sell on Amazon.com. In the short term, you would be allowed to sell. In the long term, if you sell a considerable amount, and now you have to deal with filing taxes and so on, you are going to end up having a lot of problems. So I do not suggest to use a stealth or ghost account. I would show you guys on Entrepreneur Zone, maybe not tomorrow, but tomorrow, how to set up multiple accounts without going stealth. Why do people from the UK need to sell in the US? Nancy, you don't need to sell in the US. You can use the same principles and the same training that we use to sell in the UK. But Amazon US has way more traffic, way more sales, and way more opportunity than the US. I used to drop ship on Amazon UK and US. I used to drop ship on eBay UK and US. And the time that it took and the potential I had for the other accounts, it was not worth my time. I can be suspended if I use automated software from the beginning. Gabriel, no. Automated software does not affect Amazon accounts like it did on eBay. So let me get into suspensions. So Amazon suspensions happen for a number of reasons. Amazon suspensions are the worst case. Amazon suspensions could stop your business. Amazon suspensions could hold your money in an Amazon account for 4 to 8 weeks. We've got an account suspended, unsuspended in a week. But you could end up having your money stuck in an Amazon account for weeks, for a couple of months. And completely worst case, Amazon could suspend your account and not give you back the money that is in there if you don't keep pressuring them. They're not going to steal your money, but if you don't keep going at them and you don't get the account unsuspended, I have seen situations where Amazon took over a year to make a deposit after your account is suspended. So around the topic of Amazon suspensions, you want to try your best never to be suspended. If you are suspended, go through all processes to get unsuspended. If Amazon tells you you cannot be unsuspended, you have to continue communication to receive the money that is in your Amazon account. So avoid being suspended. If you are, get it unsuspended. If you can't get it suspended, get an Amazon ask to give you your money back, right? And I know you guys are asking questions, but let me go through this stuff. So the number one thing that kills Amazon businesses is suspensions. More suspensions. So a lot of people on YouTube, on blogs, in this make money online space who sell courses, talk about Amazon suspensions like it's fucking magic. It is not magic. Most Amazon suspensions come from human error, meaning your metrics go bad, and I will get into metrics and account health and all the different pieces in a second. But it means that the Amazon account metrics could go bad. They could suspend you for that, and that's because of a human error. You don't have the correct information on the restricted accounts, restricted brands, restricted suppliers that you shouldn't sell from for the first 3 months. Or you just don't give a fuck about metrics. You don't give a fuck about delivering, and you get A to Z claims and negative feedback, and Amazon suspends. With the information that you would receive between today and tomorrow and a couple of follow-up videos, you would have all information on who you should sell from, how fast you can ship, where you upload tracking numbers, how fast you upload tracking numbers, how you respond to A to Z claims, how you respond to negative feedback. So you should not be suspended. If you do your job, or if your employees do your job. If you do get suspended, Appeal Library, which is a library of appeals that we have compiled over the years and we continue to add. We used to sell them for $100. Today, those will be available on Entrepreneurs. So if you are suspended, you have appeals that work. The Appeal Library gives you videos and connect them to the suspensions that you get, and you have everything needed to get unsuspended. But you want to do everything in your power to avoid suspensions from Amazon, right? You can get, so I will go, like we have a section tomorrow where I share with you guys 5 different suspensions, and I share with you guys why they happen, and I share with you guys how to deal with it. So this is a straight up boot camp, right? I know it might take a little while, but you're getting everything. So be a little patient, please. Can you use Zeek Analytics with Amazon, or do you need something else? Brandon Charles, you cannot use Zeek Analytics with Amazon. Right now, what we use at the office is Jungle Scout. I am not going to give you an affiliate link, although I should. If you want to buy Jungle Scout, you should, listen, you need Jungle Scout. So any of you guys who plan to sell on Amazon, go to Google right now, search Jungle Scout, and pay for it. It's about $40 a month. I think one of the accounts I have, I paid like $200 lifetime, like a year or 2 ago. But you want to use Jungle Scout. And we will show you how to use Jungle Scout in the training. Actually, Pamela is going to do a section at 1 o'clock, so in about 2 hours, doing product research and using Jungle Scout. That's what Brandon just asked. So yeah, so you want to avoid suspension, all suspensions as much as possible. And I know you guys are asking questions, and I'll get back to the questions. So let's move on. So one way that you get suspended is from account health. Now, this is an account that we recently started to manage. Hold on. And the reason why you can see that we recently started to manage is because a couple things. In your Amazon Seller Central, there's a section called Account Health. And all of these data points, percentages, are reasons for you to potentially get suspended. Not indefinitely, but potentially get suspended for Amazon, from Amazon selling. If you get suspended for account health, you're almost, we have had close, maybe 100%, close to 100% success rate in recovering accounts because of account health. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain account health, and I'm going to explain what you do after if your account health goes bad. So there are a number of things, and I'm going to rate the importance of all of these. So the reason for you to understand account health is they affect two things. One, they affect suspensions, and two, they affect the traffic that Amazon gives you, your buy box, and the Amazon search algorithm that we are going to cover today. So the defect rate, the order defect rate is, Amazon wants your order defect rate to be 1%. What that means is out of 100 sales, 1 or less can have a defect. What is a defect? A negative feedback, an A to Z claim, or a chargeback claim. A negative feedback means someone gives you a negative feedback on a sale on the Amazon feedback section. A to Z claim is like if someone didn't receive an item, if it received broken, that's what Amazon calls an A to Z claim. And a chargeback claim is, let's say they order an item and they call a credit card and say, it was fraud, I didn't get the item, and they charge back. So less than 1 out of 100 or 2 out of 200 of your orders needs to not have these things. And I know you're like, Mark, that's very low, but it's possible. My guys at the office do it all the time. I've been doing it for years. I've gone above, gotten the account back. I've seen a lot of accounts go above order defect rate and get the account back. So it is not the end of the game, but you want to do everything possible to not get your order defect rate above 1%. Now, if it does get above 1%, if you sell 200 items and you get 5 negative feedback and 5 A2Z claims and 1 chargeback claim, you have about 60 days to continue selling, even if you ignore the negative feedback. And if you keep selling a ton with no order defects, and it brings your percentage below 1%, you're fine. So you have about 60 days to continue selling, even with a high order defect rate, to bring it back down. That's 1. 2, negative feedback can be removed. You can communicate with the customer, offer them something, offer them to ship the item for free, offer them an Amazon gift card, offer them something. Now there are limits, and we get into that. But you can get negative feedback removed relatively easily because the customer can just move it. A to Z claims are a lot harder to get removed, but once you upload your tracking number on time, once you actually ship the item, you can get around it. But most of the time, you don't get A to Z claims if you actually didn't fuck up. Chargeback claims, generally speaking, only come from people who just didn't get the item or trying to scam you. So if you have the tracking and it was delivered, you don't have to worry about it. So this is just this section of the account health, customer service performance. Amazon expects you to have less than 1% in any 60-day period. So you could have 3% and bring it down. You could have some negative feedback that like been 59 days old, and at the 62nd day, it's not going to be calculated in your order defect rate. So it's for a rolling 60-day period. So it's today and 60 days before, you need to have less than 1%. Product policy compliance. So there's a number of things here. Intellectual property, suspected. So if you're selling a brand that you shouldn't be selling, Amazon or the algorithm could give you a claim. They generally don't ask you for proof for that. But if you list the right items, choose the right brands, or list your own brands, you wouldn't have the problem. If you list a brand where this brand owner, and again, we'll cover this, does not approve you to sell the brand, he or she can file a claim on Amazon that you're selling stuff you shouldn't sell, and it'll come up as an intellectual property claim. And do me a favor, I'm going to teach you guys the important things. This is very basic stuff. If you go into your Amazon Seller Central, they would define this stuff. I feel like an idiot just reading this stuff up, because hopefully you guys can read. But this section, the customer service performance, is Amazon's most important account health metric. It's a company, the company focuses on the customer, how they're presented here, and the consequences of having that fuck up happen a lot faster. Product policy compliance, they allow a little more leeway. You can get a couple IP claims. You can get, I've seen someone get a couple inauthentic claims and still sell, but these claims, listing violations, not the restricted policy. Like, you can't be selling guns and that type of stuff, but that section, there's a little more leeway than the customer service. And the shipping performance, again, is a little less important than the product policy compliance. That is a little less important than the customer service performance. But you want to keep everything on this page within Amazon's requirements. So if you see here, they want the order defect rate less than 4%, late shipment. So let me talk about this section here. I have personally never seen an account suspended for this section, right? I've seen accounts have, so what this section is, late shipments, they want less than 4% of your items to not be shipped out late. How they track that is if you have 5 days handling time, you need to upload your tracking number within that 5 days, and the item needs to leave and show that it's tracked and left by that 50. Once you do that, once you sell an item, order the item, upload the tracking number, you shouldn't have a problem with this. And this is on a 30-day rolling reserve. So after 30 days, these drop off. Pre-fulfillment cancellations. If someone orders an item from you and then cancel immediately, or cancel for any reason, they want that below 2.5%. I know you can say that's not your fault, the buyer changes his mind, but generally speaking, no, sorry. If you sell an item and you cancel before you fulfill the item, 2.5% of that, you need, out of 100 items, less than 2.5 of those sales need to be not canceled before it's fulfilled. If you're using a software to track in and out of stocks or price changes, or if you use fake tracking numbers, and we'll do a section on fake tracking numbers tomorrow, you would not have that problem. And valid tracking number. So two things affect your valid tracking number. One, you need to upload a real tracking number, a live tracking number on time. You can't use a fake tracking number that does not exist. Two, there's a hack, a black hat hack about using fake tracking numbers that are live. That would keep that valid tracking number there. We do the training, so you could easily keep that over 95%. But if you use a tracking number or a fake tracking number, and after change it, that valid tracking is going to go down. So I don't want to go into detail now because I want to do the fake tracking number section, but valid tracking number is important. It more affects your traffic, but it does not affect the suspensions as much as this stuff, as customer service and the product policy. I had a conversation with Jason, who owns Ecom Solutions. He sells more than $12 million a year. And he had said that his valid tracking has been down to 80%, and he's never seen an account suspended for valid tracking. I've never seen an account suspended for that. But there are ways of getting it unsuspended if it happens to happen. So yeah, so that's account health. I wanted to show you, let me see something. Okay, so before I continue, do you guys have any question about account health? Brandon, we'll talk about fake tracking numbers. So why are we using fake tracking numbers? Let me just tell you quickly, but there'll be a section on that. The reason why I use fake tracking numbers is, let's just say coronavirus is here. And let's just say you order an item from the supplier and the supplier ships late. So he gives you the tracking after your handling time. Or it's the 4th day or the 5th day and you have a 5-day handling time. You could use a fake tracking number to keep your late shipments and your valid tracking number metrics tight. But when you get the real tracking number, you don't want to change it. You want to send it directly to the customer. And we'll do a section on that. Julian, it starts at 12 Eastern. It is 11:55 my time, but it starts at 12 Eastern. Where are you? Yes, the suppliers, someone asked if the suppliers give tracking numbers. Yes, they do give tracking numbers. Exactly. But I will show you how to get the fake tracking numbers because I pay for a service that actually gives you tracking numbers. Brandon, listen, if you take the tracking number, I know I shouldn't have brought this up. So Brandon asked, would Amazon bust you? So first of all, this is going to be recorded. I apologize, Julian, and I'll do another bootcamp in about 2 weeks. But this is going to be recorded. I'll be on Entrepreneur Zone, so you can look at it again. And it'll be cut up in pieces so you guys it'll be more organized. Brandon C, Amazon, you could get away with using fake tracking numbers a lot. And we will talk about the situation that we've seen Amazon bust you, but most of the time they don't. And these are actual tracking numbers that are live, but the problem is they are shipped to a different address. Yeah, Sophian, we have a section on fake tracking numbers. So I'll show you. No, Julian, the class starts at 12. Can you guys hear me? Okay, the class started at 12 Eastern. It's recorded. I apologize for that mistake. I'll talk to my guys about it. And there's another 4 hours tomorrow at 12 Eastern. It's recorded. We have 4 hours tomorrow at 12 Eastern. We'll go into everything. I'm going through slowly. So, any questions about account health? Four hours today. We are already 2 hours in. Exactly. Like this could take forever. So we have to find a balance between me teaching you guys, me answering the questions. How do you avoid negative feedback? Like the negative feedback comes up if you end up shipping stuff late. Depending on the suppliers you use, you need to list the correct item. But actually, that's an interesting question. Negative feedback is a percentage of all sales, right? Not every sale the buyer gives you feedback. So if you sold 100 items, only 20 people give you feedback, and you get 5 negative feedback. You could end up with a 75% positive feedback, but that does not affect your account health because it compares all of them. So Julian, okay, let me stop for 1 second. All of you guys who started late, let me just go over really quickly what we covered before you were here, okay? I introduced Amazon dropshipping. I talked about why the bootcamp is a different model, is a different system. We want to make sure and give you all the information 2 days. We want to do question and answer, and we want to change education online as a company here at Entrepreneur Zone. The bootcamp covers 3 things: teaching you everything, answering questions, motivating you to take action. Who I am, I'm Mark. I've lived in multiple countries. I've graduated. I've understand what it is to sell from the US, outside the US, and so on. I sold on Amazon and eBay. Julian, I know you. So the reason why I'm running through is because I don't think you need what was done before. I've sold as much as 25 grand a day on Amazon. I've sold up to like 350,000 a month on eBay. This is my team. You're going to learn from me and my team. I learned this stuff from pure work, patience, and mistakes. There's not a secret. There's not some fucking magic. I'm not a magical guru. I don't like, all from experience. I'm giving you everything I've learned from years of experience and money spent on experience. This is where you set up the account. And we had account health. So you did, Julian, I know you, so you in particular would not have missed a whole lot. So leaving the class now is a bit of a waste, but you could go back and look at the recording. So there are 2 types of listings: piggyback listings and branded listings. I am going to jump on Amazon and show you what a piggyback listing is, just because this is all we are going to cover today. So we do branded listings tomorrow, but it is important for you guys to see what a piggyback listing is. Some of you guys know what it is, some of you guys don't, but it's important for you to see this. So there are only 2 types of listings as a dropshipper or as anyone on Amazon: a listing where you piggyback and a listing where you list your own brand. So I'm going to show you a piggyback listing from an item. I've been doing this way too long. So all I did was I opened Amazon and I searched for couch, right? And because I'm an idiot and because I've been dropshipping for a very long time, I know that this couch, I'm pretty sure that this couch is from Walmart. I'm pretty sure, but let me just check. And what we're covering here is all of it. You'll get everything. 966034. So this item is a couch. It costs $200. Walmart. And I'm showing you guys what piggyback listings are. But this is an interesting item because it brings up something that a lot of you guys. So this item comes from Walmart. If you want to dropship from Walmart, please don't dropship from Walmart in your first 9 days. Sell on Amazon. And also don't, so look at this item. This is the exact same item for $199 on Walmart, right? Best Choice is a Walmart brand. When I look at Amazon, and all of this are details that we're going to cover, right? When I look at Amazon, I know we didn't do JV Zoo, not JV Zoo, Jungle Scout and all that stuff yet. But when I look at Amazon, why is this scrolling? I'm having some technical difficulties, guys. Give me a second. When I go on Amazon, the item is sold for the same price. Now, ships and sold by Best Choice Products. Actually, hold up. Anyway, this is a different case, but let me just use Jungle Scout to show you what I'm looking at. When I use Jungle Scout, remember the purpose of this showing you guys this is to show what a piggyback listing is. But when I go to Jungle Scout, this item is FBM, fulfilled by merchant. Brandon wants to know about keeping in and out of stock. Again, all of that stuff we cover. We're covering everything between today and tomorrow. This item sells $426,000 a month. It is sold for $199, and it is shipped FBM, shipped by the merchant, fulfilled by merchant. So I know you're looking at this and saying, yeah, but this is a branded item and it's the same price as Walmart. And actually this came up, I didn't expect this, but let me look at something. So on the Walmart site, if this was sold by Walmart, it would say sold and shipped by Walmart. But this item is being sold and shipped by Best Choice Products. So this guy, chances are, he is rebranding this item, which I will show you how to do, and selling it on the Amazon platform. So if you're trying to list this item, first you might say, okay, I can't sell this item because I can't compete in price, which is fair. But now you have a white version of the item for $328. Now let's see if that, and remember the purpose of this is to show you piggyback listings, right? But give me a second. I just want to pull something out. So this item, so first of all, if you plan to sell this item, I would not piggyback. So, all right, what a piggyback listing is you find an item that's already on Amazon, and right here, there's a question, have one to sell question mark, and you could click sell on Amazon. So what would happen is you would be piggybacking on a listing that one or multiple people have already started to list. So if you look at the black version of this and you click, you would see that there are 7 different people selling this item, anywhere from $199 to $362 or whatever the other prices are. That's a piggybacking or piggyback listing, where you piggyback on a. Gabriel asked if we have the criteria. We have a document. Pamela is going to do an hour at 1 o'clock, showing you guys how to source items, and there's a document that comes with her training. What a piggyback item is that you list on other listings, right? There's 7 people selling this. I personally would not piggyback on this listing because from my experience, this is Best Choice. He's selling a Best Choice item. these 7 different sellers, chances are either him or his other accounts or people he's not going to report. And I say all of that because this item sells a lot a month. Doing the extra work to protect your item, this item sells $426,000 a month. This motherfucker sells 67 of these a day. You don't want to take the chance and list items, especially from Walmart, from a guy who's not Walmart selling it. And we have a whole section about not getting suspended from listing the wrong items. But the purpose of this is simply to say there are 2 different types of listings. Piggyback listings, where you list on listings that already exist, and your own branded listings, where you create your listing from scratch and you have to buy a UPC. With piggyback listings, you use a UPC that already exists, that Amazon already had in the catalog, and you just list an item and try to beat the price to still make money and you will sell. On branded items, you have to upload your images, upload your product, choose your price, and there's a lot longer process, but there's a place and time for both of those listings. Generally speaking, branded listings, generally, not all the time, gives you bigger margins, but it's a lot longer to list. It's a lot longer to generate sales, but you have the opportunity to do pay-per-click on Amazon. You don't need to do it. You could be lazy and do only piggybacking listings, but you have to make sure and only use suppliers in the first 90 days or 9 days of not selling $2,000 a month. You need to use Hobby Lobby, HOBBY, Webstaurant, Sportsman's Guide, or some of Academy items. Those are the 4 suppliers that beginners should use for piggybacking listings and not get suspended. If you've sold for 90 days and you've sold more than $2,000 a month for 90 days straight, you can. The list is going to be an entrepreneur zone when this is done. So you guys can download the document with all the suppliers. So don't worry about it. The bootcamp is going to be here. Sportsman's Guide, and Academy Sports. But the list is going to be in there after. The do not sell list, the listing for the first 9 days, the listings for after. But all piggyback listings are listings that you jump on and sell the same shit as other people. And that ties into the Amazon algorithm, and I will get to that. So let me go back to the presentation. So today, the only thing myself and Pamela are going to cover today on April 30th are piggyback listings. Branded listings we cover tomorrow, and it takes a little more work. So the Amazon algorithm. Before I get into Amazon algorithm, I want you to look at this. This is a screenshot from Jungle Scout. What this tells me is that this item sells 69 times a day. This is the same couch I just showed you guys. It sells $426,000 a month. The item has been available from one or all of the sellers since 2016. The rating on the item is 3.5, and it is FBA, meaning it is shipped by the merchant, fulfilled by a merchant. I'm going to get into Amazon algorithm in a second, but the reason why I'm showing you this is because the items that you want to try to sell at least 10 times a month. 5 times a month. I try, and again, there's a document that will give you all of this. I want to make sure I'm selling items to sell at least 5 times a month. I look at when the item is listed just to get an idea how long this item has been available. I want to make sure it's fulfilled by merchant because I want to compete with other people who are either drop shippers or shipping it themselves. Now, what the fuck does this have to do? Right, so Brandon Charles said, I'm using Jungle Scout. Jungle Scout is a piece of software for product research on Amazon. It's the most reliable software I've used for the product search on Amazon, and we have a section on Jungle Scout. And I apologize, we didn't do that before, but we are covering a lot of stuff. So that is what the screenshot is from. and we'll show you how to use Jungle Scout effectively as a dropshipper. But what this Jungle Scout has to do with the algorithm, and what does piggybacking has to do with the algorithm, right? There are 4 things that affect the Amazon algorithm. And when I say the Amazon algorithm, the algorithm that makes the item show up in the Amazon search. I'll show you how to use Hobby Lobby. So the Amazon algorithm for piggyback listings is not so much about showing up in search, because we know that whatever people search for whatever items, these items sell a certain amount of time a month on Amazon. What the Amazon algorithm controls, unlike eBay, because a lot of you guys who are here may have sold or dropshipped on eBay before. eBay allows you to list your own listings, put your own price, put your own title, put your own image, even if other people are selling it. On Amazon, that's not the case. So if you're selling the same item with the same UPC, you are piggybacking on a listing, and the only things that you could change are the price and the handling time. And those are 2 things that affect the Amazon algorithm, as well as delivery time and metrics. And I'll explain what I mean. But the Amazon algorithm decides who gets the buy box. So, and I know I'm covering a lot right there if you've never sold on Amazon before. So what the buy box is, this item that sells $426,000 a month, or 69 times a day, the majority of those sales come from the buy box on Amazon. So although there are 7 people selling this item, the buy box is when you hit add to cart, it automatically goes to the buyer's cart from the person who wins the buy box. So the majority, so Santos, you are late. I apologize. There's a mix up on time. What we covered was recorded, and you'll have that on the platform, but tomorrow you'll be at the correct time, and we do another boot camp in a couple of weeks. So the Amazon algorithm takes 4 things into consideration: price, handling time, delivery time, and metrics. So the price is obvious. You could beat the price, right? The handling time is the 5 days, 4 days, 3 days, 10 days that you tell Amazon on your listing. That's how long it takes you to upload your tracking number. And I will show you how to edit your tracking number. Edit your handling time. The delivery time is a lot different than the handling time. So let me explain what that is. If you look at a typical Amazon listing of this couch, today is April 30th. I took the screenshot today. So Amazon is telling you that if you buy this item from the buy box seller, it will reach to you between the 7th of May or the 12th of May. So you would automatically think that the delivery time has to do with your handling time and your shipping time. And although that is true, if you've never, I will answer questions in a second, guys. If I keep answering questions in the middle of the presentation, I'll be here till midnight tonight. Although the handling time could be 5 days and the shipping time 20 days. If you've never sold this item before, Amazon uses your handling time and shipping time to estimate your delivery time to help decide if they will allow you to get part of the buy box or not. Now, if you sell consistently and regularly. I will get into that Harbor Freight I've used, and it's an amazing supply, but I'll get to it. If you sell consistently, this delivery time has less to do with your handling time and shipping time in your Amazon settings than it has to do with the actual time it takes to get these items delivered. What the fuck do I mean? So about 6 months ago, I had an item that I was selling a ton, right? And I wouldn't tell you what the item is, and I wouldn't tell you supplier because you might be able to find it. But I was selling about 8 of them a day. My handling time was 5 days. My shipping time was 10 days. So it should get there in 15 days. But when drop shipping on Amazon, you want to be urgent. So when you get a sale, you want to order and ship immediately, right? So what was happening is, although my 5-day handling time was there and although my 10-day shipping time was there, so it should take 2 weeks to get there, because we were ordering it very fast, my estimated delivery time was like 5 or 6 days after you ship. And they're using that after you buy. And the Amazon is using that based on your previous orders. So I had a 5-day handling time and I was selling a lot, but I was selling too much. So I raised my handling time to slow sales down. And although sales did slow down a bit, because that is one of the metrics that Amazon algorithm takes into consideration to give you the buy box or to give you traffic, my delivery time or arrive time was still 5 or 6 days, although I extended my handling time because my history of shipping items out was 5 or 6 days. So it is very important that when pricing an item, you beat the price or stay within 5%. So wait, I'll cover that in a second. Should I beat the price or should I stay within 5%? You should do the fastest, shortest handling time that you can choose for the supplier that you're using, knowing that you will either order it the first day, second, or third day. So you don't want to choose, if you know it takes you 3 days to get a tracking number, you don't want to choose 3 days because you'll have to order it right away. You want to do 5 days, 6 days. And you'll say, okay, Mark, I'll get less traffic with a longer handling time. But you want Amazon, the handling time is to make sure that your actual metrics are 100% tight. Once you keep doing that, if your delivery time is faster than the handling time, you'll still get traffic. And I'm getting to the price in a second. So the 4 things that Amazon takes in consideration to give you the buy box is price, handling time, delivery time, and metrics. Metric meaning the account health that I showed you guys. So if you're cheaper, your handling time is shorter, you have a history of delivery on time, and the metrics are all below Amazon's requirement, you'll make a ton of money. What delivery time is this, Brandon. Brandon asked, what is delivery time? Delivery time is this, the arrive time. So if I order this today, Amazon estimates it'll get to me by May 7th or May 12th. So it'll get to me in 7 to 12 days. This number is not calculated based on the handling time and shipping time. If you've never sold the item, then it would be. But if you've sold the item, this number is based on the history of how long it took for you to get the item to your buyer. And even if you have a 10-day handling time and 20-day shipping time, let's say 30 days, but you've sold 50 of those items and got them delivered within a week, the estimated arrive time would not be 30 days. It might be 8, 9 days, up to 30 days. So the estimated delivery time, the arrive time, the delivery time is some sort of average that Amazon doesn't give you the exact calculation, but it's an average of your previous delivery times. So there's still a handling time that you can raise or lower if you want to increase or lower sales, and we'll explain why you'll want to increase or lower sales. But there's another metric of the actual delivery of your items that affects the traffic in your buy box. You get it? And those 4 things are very fucking important for selling long term when piggybacking on listings because we're not playing the same game that you do on eBay. When you beat price, change image, change title, all that stuff. On Amazon, you're only playing with price, handling time, delivery time, and metrics. So your next question, or the typical question is, how to get sales. And this is the last thing I'm going to cover before I get Pamela to come in and give you guys actual training on listing, product research, and so on. In the first 90 days, or when you don't have the buy box on a specific item, your biggest hope is being the cheapest person. Guys, give me 1 second. I need some water. Give me 1 second. This is a section I need to go into detail. So give me 5 minutes. You guys can chat, but give me 5 minutes, please. All of this will be recorded. I have to go back in this. Let me check. Yeah. Well, All right, guys. So I'm back. So what is going to happen? I am going to finish this last piece of the presentation in about 5 or 10 minutes. I'm going to take as many questions that you guys have. I am going to leave the webinar because at 1 o'clock Central Time, which is 3 o'clock Eastern, Pamela, who's a trainer at my office, she's going to give you guys the exact same training, the beginning of the training that she gives our guys on product research. And she's going to give you guys an hour of that when I'm done. So, and before we would work in the same office, I have to switch accounts and so on. And we posted a separate link to that other webinar that starts in 27 minutes. And I'll be on that webinar as well. But that starts in 27 minutes. And the other link is on Entrepreneur Zone as well. So let me just finish this really quickly. Take some questions. Sorry, guys. I'm tired. And like I'm not used to doing this bootcamp, but I like it. And then hand it over to Pamela. So far, what you've learned, we went through some basics. We went through the 2 types of listings. We went through not. Can you guys hear me, by the way? Just put yes in the chat, please. Okay. I'll take a lot of questions in a second. So we went through how to set up the account, 2 types of listings, a bit about suspensions, how to get not suspended, and the Amazon algorithm. And it is important that you understand what part of the process that you're in, what your account can do, and how to use the Amazon algorithm to ensure the biggest margins possible, right? So if you are in your first 90 days of selling on Amazon, and if you have not sold a lot previously, or if you're not in your first 90 days and you just have not sold a lot, it is difficult to almost impossible to get the buy box. So it is difficult or almost impossible. Gabriel, I have the solution for that. Gabriel said fucking reality. Right. It is difficult and almost impossible to get the buy box. If you've never sold on Amazon before, let's just say I woke up today, I open an Amazon account, and I want to sell this item, right? This item sells a ton. It's been listed on Amazon for a long time. It's being shipped by the buyer. The ratings are not bad, so it's not great. It's not a great product. But this guy, the person with the buy box, clearly is selling for a very long time because he has a ton of ratings. I'll click over to his account. But if this is my first day, the only way, or not the only way, but the way to increase the probability of making sales with a brand new account is to be the cheapest. Full stop. So I know a lot of you guys would be like, Mark, but I did a ton of research and I can't be the cheapest. Mark, but this and that and all this. You could be the cheapest by 5 cents. But you need to be the cheapest. And Pamela and myself will give you a lot of training on product research and how to price and all that stuff, and setting automatic pricing with Amazon to make sure the cheapest and all this stuff. So don't think that you're going to do this stuff right now, but you need to be the cheapest. Because as a brand new, so that's if you're a brand new seller and you're piggybacking. You need to be either a little cheaper than the cheapest or the same price as the cheapest, just so someone would click this shit and choose you, go to all the guys selling it, choose the cheapest one and buy it. What that would do, it would give you a couple sales, you get to ship the item out, and after you generate a considerable amount of sales, and I say considerable because Amazon doesn't give you an exact number on how much sales you have to make to get the buy box. You have to make a considerable amount of sales, get them shipped on time, they delivered on time, and over time, you would start getting the buy box. I've seen accounts get the buy box in about 30, 35, 40 days, but generally speaking, it takes you about 3 months to get the buy box. Now, as I said, the buy box is attached to piggybacking other listings, and that's what we're covering today. Now, tomorrow, when we cover unique branded listings, you don't have to worry as much about the buy box if you choose the right item, because you're selling that item by yourself and you're using the own UPC that you purchased or acquired, and you don't have a ton of people on the listing. But okay, Jovan asked, what is the buy box? So let me explain again. What the buy box is, when piggybacking a listing, when there are multiple people selling a listing, Amazon knows that there's 7 people selling that listing, but when you click add to cart, when a buyer clicks add to cart, the item that goes to his cart is from the person that they have awarded the buy box to. If you have the cheapest item, you still, as a brand new seller, chances are you're still not going to get the buy box, but someone could click, see the other items and buy from the cheapest. Now, if you look at this item sells 69 times a day. It sells $426,000 worth of sales a month. So there is a high chance that if you're the cheapest by a couple bucks, by $5, $10, you would get your initial sales. And the reason why this works is because Amazon has hundreds of billions of dollars worth of sales every year. It only has 3 to 4 million sellers, and there are millions of items. So you can find items with traffic where you can be the cheapest. It is also easier to find items where you can be the cheapest with the few suppliers that we use as beginners. Hobby Lobby, Webster, Sportsman Guide. But the purpose of the first 90 days of selling at least $2,000 a month is to make a bit of money and to start getting the buy box. Now, this does not take into consideration branded items, and I don't want to go into that yet because that is another strategy that you could use as a beginner drop shipper, but it takes a little more work. You can get more sales, higher margins, but it takes a little more work. But if you're a beginner drop shipper and you've not sold on Amazon before and you want to start getting sales, you only want to use a couple suppliers. You want to make sure you are the cheapest because you can rank. Because this is not luck. There are a lot of people that use software or use cheap labor and list tens of thousands of items over a year. And when someone goes out of stock, they get a sale. When a lot of people are buying, they might just randomly get a sale. But that's not how you properly grow a business, and that's not how you control your success. It would take a little more time to find items you can be the cheapest that have the sales that are in the suppliers, but it happens all the time. My guys find these items every day. Now, after you pass that period of selling enough, at least 90 days of selling at least $2,000 a month, now you can start listing from other suppliers. You can start listing from, be careful, and I'll show you how to list these items. But you can start listing from Home Depot, Sears, Walmart, Academy, and still get away with it. Or you don't have to and stick to a couple of wholesalers, your own branded items. But you, after those 90 days, you could get the buy box. You can list from a lot more sellers. You can list a lot more brands. And you don't have to be the cheapest price to get the buy box. And that's why this is important about how to get sales. Because how to get sales is harder and different in the first 90 days than it is after that. I've seen accounts. There's one account in particular we still manage actually. For the first 3 months, it would sell 50 bucks a day, zero, 500, zero, 300, zero. So it was selling like maybe 6,000, 7,000 a day, but some days were zero, some days were 50, some days were 600 and so on, right? As soon as, and I will show you again how to check for the buy box, how to check percentages, how to change metrics to see a buy box percentage go up. But as soon as Amazon lifted that, like, I call it an imaginary hold because they're not 100% clear on how they make those decisions. But as soon as they lifted it and that account started to get a buy box, we were selling between $1,000 and $2,000 a day every single day after that point. And I explain that because a lot of times, if you're not doing it done for you and we managing your account, or if you're managing your account alone, or if you have someone managing your account, you might be worried about not getting sales over the first 3 months and saying, this is shit. How the fuck am I going to sell $25,000 in a day? But it is like a switch. You sell consistently. Some of you guys on the call sell already. Some do FBA, some didn't. And you can get a lot more sales if you spend the time and list your own branded items, right? Like that's one thing. For the first 3 months, there's no real limit on how much you can sell if you're buying your own UPCs and listing your own items. And we're going to show you that. But if you don't want to do that and you want to use other suppliers and the UPCs already there and the category that's already there, you would have to put in the extra work, find the items, list, get a couple sales, slowly grow. And when you cross that threshold, it just goes. You see what I'm saying? And I've tested a lot of this, and I'll give you a lot of numbers, how many listings you should list, how many items, the profit margin, and all that stuff. But anyway, let me get into the question and answers because Pamela is going to be here in 15 minutes. So you guys posted a lot of stuff that I didn't answer while I was presenting. I hope you don't mind. If you want to just throw those questions in now, I would go down one by one for 5 or 10 minutes before I bring Pamela on. Who can I contact to access my Entrepreneur Zone account? I still can't access anything. So if you have a problem on Entrepreneur Zone, send an email to, I'll put the email here. As soon as I get off this call, I would get with Rodrigo, who's my project manager, and find out why Appeal Library is not up yet. So Lou asked, will the suspension library be up today? Yes, it would be. Brandon said, what if I can't be the cheapest? Find another item. If you cannot be the cheapest, you can list at the same price. You could list a little bit more expensive, but don't expect to get sales. If you can be the cheapest, move on. Now, sometimes the person selling the cheapest has bad feedback, and buyers make a decision. If you have better feedback than the other person, they'll buy it from you. Right? So there's a chance. But don't list the item more expensive just expecting to sell. You might get lucky. I've seen it before. But it's not a consistent way to systematically grow a business. Right. So Marquette asked, I thought you can't list items from retailers on Amazon. Isn't Walmart a retailer? So again, today is the beginner stuff. In Amazon terms of service, you should not be drop shipping directly from Walmart to the buyer. There are guys who buy items in bulk and clearance and ship it out themselves. And Amazon allows you to get away with that stuff after you pass the review section. A friend of mine last year sold 60 grand a day and like 45,000 of them was from Walmart. So it happens. Jason from Ecom Solutions, he has, I think, 4 accounts doing retail and 1 account doing wholesale, so it happens. So I'm giving you guys the white hat, perfect, 100%, and all of it will come together as the training goes on. I'll give you 100% Amazon terms of service. This is what you can do. I will give you the black hat stuff. You could break Amazon terms of service, but there's a time and place to do that, and you can still make a ton of money. So technically speaking, you're not supposed to be drop shipping from retailers, but you can. And I'll explain how, why, and if it's worth it, because you don't have to. So what I'm giving you guys is everything. If you want to break Amazon terms of service, if you don't want to break Amazon terms of service, and what you need to do to make a lot of money. Gabriel said it's against terms of service, but you can fly in the safe zone. Yes, you can. Do these suppliers you mentioned accept international credit cards? Some of them do. Webster does, some of them don't. And there are ways around that. You could buy prepaid cards, you could buy gift cards from legitimate sources, and you don't need a foreign card, but some of them do accept foreign cards. Amazon asks us if we are a true seller of a product we list. We want the invoice 3 random products. How do you prevent this? So I have about a 30-minute section tomorrow about avoiding suspensions. I directly address that, and I also address how to deal with that. So I will show you what listings to look for, what brands you can't list, and how to avoid being suspended before you start and being asked for the invoices for inauthentic items. Santos asks, can I buy items from big box retail on sale and do FBA? Yes, you can. 100% within terms of service. Is it possible to drop ship from my own listing by selling brands and rank to the top paying Amazon PPC? Yes, it is. And we cover that tomorrow. Can you sending a list of products you have in your basement rather than having a buyer having to buy it from retail? Products that we already own, just a slap on it. Yes, Darian, you could list anything that you physically have, no problem. Except the do not sell list that's in 100%. Don't customers see Walmart and Hobby Lobby shipping package labels instead of Amazon boxes? Yes and no. So the question is, do customers see the labels from Walmart, Hobby Lobby, and so on? A lot of these suppliers allow you to ship as a gift, so they don't see it. Walmart, about 30% of their catalog comes directly from suppliers, so they don't. And from my experience on Amazon, 1 in about 300 sales complain about the box. Now, if you use your own branded stuff, if you ship from Hobby Lobby, Webster in particular, Sportsman's Guide as well, they would ship with an unbranded box. But this is from our experience selling tens of thousands of dollars a day or hundreds of thousands of dollars a day in the 40 accounts that we have. How do you work out profits off of each item? How does profit work? That's Julian. So on Amazon, Amazon charges you a fixed 15%. So if you sell an item, and again, we'll cover that tomorrow. But if you sell and Pamela will cover that today. If you sell an item for $100, you will receive $85, so you want to buy the item for less than $85 from the supplier. So Amazon just charges 50%. If dropshipping from Sportsman Guide, will I need to create my own listings with my own UPCs since they also sell on Amazon? So Sportsman Guide is an interesting one. Because with Sportsman Guide, you could use your own UPCs and create your own listings. But, exactly. So, Haki, I am taking questions after each section, but, so let me answer. So I'll just answer 3 more questions and I'll bring Pamela on for her presentation. So the question is, if you're dropshipping from Sportsman's Guide, do you need your own UPC or can you piggyback? Sportsman's Guide is an interesting one because they also pay Amazon the 15% fee. So there are items that Sportsman's Guide sell on Amazon that they sell on their website that you can still find margin and make more than 10% because they want to make money as well. But mostly for Sportsman's Guide, I use my own UPC, and I will show you how to use UPC tomorrow. Brandon asked, why do you buy your own UPCs? We get our own UPCs because you don't always have to get your own UPC. If you want to build your business on piggyback listings, which most of the accounts in our done for you service are done that way, we do not buy our own UPC. If you want to drop ship and create your own listings, it takes a little more work, but you get more margins and it's within Amazon terms of service. You buy UPC in the bulk. And you could drop ship from using an UPC from Webserant and a couple other academy, and I'll show you the items, Sportsman Guides, I'll show you items. And there are a lot of people using retailers, creating bundles from retailers and creating their own UPCs as well, right? So all of these things are stuff that I would actually show you how to do. And this is just the first part of the bootcamp. And on a weekly basis, we'll have an hour. Yeah, Brandon says, I'm all for increasing margins, tired of competing. So when you pass that period where you don't have the buy box and you get in the buy box, you could list your items price for anything within 5% of the buy box. And once your metrics are good, handling time is good, and delivery time is good, you would get the buy box even though you're not the cheapest. Gabriel asked, what is the maximum minimum number of people a piggyback listing should have? I personally, I've seen piggyback listings with 50 sellers. I've seen piggyback listings with 3 to 7 sellers. I stay away from piggybacking on listings with very little sellers because chances are that's a brand or an item that could cause you a problem. And I'll show you why that problem exists. I also try to stay away from piggyback listings with more than 30 sellers, maybe more than 20, because generally speaking, the margins are low. When creating my own listing with my own UPC, is there any particular keyword tool that you use for rank lists? In the past, I use merchant word, but heard the helium 10 is good. So I've used merchant words, I've used helium 10. And I could do a presentation, not tomorrow, on both of them. But I don't use them currently to list my own items. And this is why. And again, I will go into this when I'm creating a listing for you guys tomorrow. When listing your own item with your own UPC, there are people who could do that doing FBA, and they usually target items that sell a lot. When I say a lot, sell more than 100 times a month. When you're creating your own item using your own UPC, it takes a lot longer. So you don't want to list an item that sells less than 5 times a month. So generally speaking, I would list an item that might sell 5 to 30 times a month max with my own UPC. So I know that it's selling regularly, but there's not that much competition. And that is where you find that space to be able to consistently make profits with your UPC items that have a lot of extra work. Anyway, guys, it's 2 minutes before 1 o'clock my time or 3 o'clock Eastern. I'm going to end the bootcamp right now. There's a second link in the Entrepreneur Zone platform where Pamela would be giving you guys basics of product research, then actually finding items to sell, talking about the suppliers and all that stuff. And she would be do that for an hour for you guys. Tomorrow, there's going to be the same bootcamp at 12 noon Eastern for 4 hours. We'd go through listing your items, where to get your UPCs, customer service, actually listing, setting up price tracking. Anything that we don't fit into those 4, it would fit in those 4 hours. But if I take too much question and answer tomorrow, it's not going to work. So guys, thanks for being here. I'm going to be on the other call with Pamela. I'm going to end it now. Go into Entrepreneur Zone. The link to the next section of the webinar of the bootcamp is provided in the Amazon group and the Amazon Bootcamp event and on my wall. So please jump into that call, guys. See you in a little bit.